Good evening, everybody, and welcome you all to the 3-day international virtual workshop on soft skills and effective classroom management, jointly organized by Lavender Literary Club, Cape Comorin Trust, and Malaysian Industry Relations and Human Resource Associations, Malaysia. For the beginning, I would like to call upon Professor Dr. Balakrishnan Parasuraman, Human Resource Management and Labor Relations, Faculty of Entrepreneurship and Business, University Malaysia Kelantan, and President of Mirha, Malaysia, to give us the introductory address. Over to you, sir.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Great.
You're audible.
Risha? Okay. Thank you. Good evening to Risha as a chairperson for tonight. And also I'd like to say good evening to our friends in India and also Malaysia and other countries, maybe Africa. I'm Professor Dr. Bala. Actually, I'm from University Malaysia Kelantan, Kota Baru. I'm from the Faculty of Entrepreneurship and Business. As a patron of this conference, I would like to welcome all our participants, speakers, and also our participants who are today. And today we're going to organize 3-day international virtual workshop on soft skill effective classroom management, which are jointly organized by Lavender Literary Club, India, who is the president is Dr. Frank Jason, and also by Cape Comorin Trust, Dr. Regina. So this, of course, it also organized by our association, Malaysian of HR Industrial Relations. Actually, I'm now in Kota Kinabalu, Risha. I'm just landed from Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur to Kota Kinabalu is about almost you go to Chennai. Okay, Kuala Lumpur, Chennai. So I'm the other side, east side. We are very close to Brunei. Brunei is about 40 minutes fly from here. You know Brunei, the richest country in the world, oil country. Above is Philippines, down there is Indonesia. So I'm now in Borneo Island. I come for supervision of my master student, and also my son is also studying in here. So that's why a bit tired, but never mind. Even though I just landed, but I always support our conference. So first of all, I think we are still on the online, still on the doing virtual workshop. Hopefully by next year, we're going to have a physical face-to-face. We all love to see each other. And I think Lavender Leisure Club, Cape Comorin, Mirha are working very hard to bring all of us in one place that we can get together and we have face-to-face. And then it's much better that interaction like what we discussed tonight. So as you know, soft skill is very important. And I believe soft skill is not start in the university or school. It must started even from the womb, when the baby is formed in the womb. And that's how the mother actually become teacher to teach the soft skill. So you can see that if you fail on that particular time and the baby born and the baby start learning very fast compared to last time, and letting the baby will grow at home, first at home until certain age, like 6 or 7, then you go to school and primary and secondary, and then of course higher level, like diploma and degree, and of course PhD. So we make a lot of mistake for many countries, make a wrong signal saying that soft skill only start at the university, which is very wrong concept. I think in the university we can't do anything. Soft skill must come from your inner self and also learning from others. So a lot of soft skill that already embedded when the baby born in this world. So example, the mother set a good example. I mean, I'm not the mother, even the father. Okay, both study together or singing together and whatever lah. So then the kids will be follow the same attitude. And when they're born, of course, we have to teach, like example, bribe. Bribe is a very big sin, against the religion or something like that. We need to respect others. And many culture, even Asian cultures, I think our soft skill is going down. Go on more negative rather positive. Those days, Asian culture is one of the best respected. Even our Indian. I mean, I'm from origin Indian. I'm a third generation in Malaysia. But of course, the rooted is come from India. So we cannot forget all these good values, the respect elders, how to speak, humble ourselves, and all this. So soft skills is very important at the moment, and you can see that even industry facing the same problem. I'm much very engagement at my country now. In fact, I'm also talking to the many ASEAN HR managers and directors, and I'm also part of the team. In fact, in Malaysia, so many industry already worrying about our student when it come to the workforce. The soft skill is not there. They have academic skill. They are very good. They all A student. I don't deny that they all A student, but soft skill really going down and down. In fact, you can see in your own classroom, some of you here as lecturers, professors, you can see your classroom, how you manage your classroom. Even I think the worst that I'm going to face next week, next 2 weeks, my student coming back after 2 years, COVID-19, my major dilemma is how to bring a good soft skill among them and how to be. So technically speaking, soft skill is a very important for every one of us. It's not stopped in this classroom. Actually, it will extend it even after retirement until a certain age, until we leave this world. That's why soft skill will stop. We are talking, but discussion on soft skill. I think what our three organization take the initiative is very good. So I think after post COVID-19, there are a lot of changes to be taking place at the classroom, especially our student come with very difficult. They come to adjust back to normal class, and you can see then I think as a scholar here, we are lecturer, we must very patient to them. Don't show our anger to them. We need to use all the reverse psychology and how to bring them on the board. And if we don't do that, you will be failure in the classroom management. So soft skill not only exists in inside the class, impact of outside the class. So classroom is a very important for us to learn, but outside classroom also very important. So that's why Asian values that we have in these three webinar that we organized. I think many academic scholars will be sharing their thought, their ideas to embed it, imparting in the new knowledge, new things. So we as academic, I always keep on telling a lot of scholars, please keep on updating your knowledge, your current literature review, your theory, your concept. Don't stay and don't do reading habits very important. Even for lecture, even I'm already coming to the retirement age another 5 years, but I keep on read. I learn from others. Actually, I learn from all my master student, my PhD students. So I think learning is very important from others. So with that, I think I'm very happy. I hope all of you enjoy the virtual webinar and the workshop. And please ask more questions. I think you may ask questions, and there'll be more response from the speakers. And I'll be coming back again on the last day. I'm going to more sharing with my own experience, 25 years, how I embedded this soft skill within academic, and I'm going to show some success story among my students who have become top 10 in industry. They become directors, they become CEO, and they become someone. And all of them come back to me, tell me, Prabala, that what you teach in the class, that's what we are practice now. So that's what I want to share. So with that, again, I would like to thanks to Dr. Frank, who are always behind the screen. He never appeared, but these are the men who are doing this, and Dr. Regina, and all these people. And of course, I don't mention Dr. Ganesan, who are actually also behind the screen. He's the one actually bring me to this congratulations, thanks to him and all the international body advisory board on our conference. So thank you very much and enjoy the seminar, and we will see you again. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the introductory message. And now we are having Reverend Father Dr. Joseph Vukuten Purskal, SDB, who was the director of Don Bosco Center for Indigenous Cultures, Shillong, Meghalaya, India. And he was a chief editor of Mission Today, a new journal of missionological and ecumenical research. He was a member of IACM, that is International Association of Catholic Missiologists, and IAMS, International Association of Mission Studies. And he has been serving in Northeast India for over 3 decades. We are very happy to have you among us, Father. Passing over the session to you for an introductory message.
To my dear friends, listening from anywhere in the world, affectionate greetings from me, a Don Bosco father, here at Don Bosco Technical School, Shillong, Meghalaya, in Northeast India. The topic of the 3-day international virtual workshop, I am told, is soft skills and effective classroom management. I am asked to give a brief introductory comment to the workshop. For me, the topic is extremely important. At the very outset, I have the joy of congratulating the organizers of this initiative. The topic, as I see it, includes a range of skills, virtues, and specializations, and they include hard work, commitment to one's duty, sincerity of life, and a desire to excel with the help of modern technology, especially the digital and scientific ones. It also includes a healthy curiosity to learn something every day, lest our thinking habit gets rusted. All this would imply the humility to ask our friends and others as to how to carry out a particular task better. Let me also add, an effective desire to learn implies to read something new every day, printed or otherwise. May I also add the need to consult your friends in the area of your specialization. I would not hesitate to pull in, if possible, a few of your students who can provide you with useful feedback. All this would require a lot of soft skills, namely the capacity to deal with people with a smile. Don Bosco, the saint of the young and a great educator, known as active all over the world through his spiritual sons and daughters, as well as thousands and thousands of lay collaborators, was born in Italy in 1815 and died in 1888. His wonderful legacy as a world-renowned and saintly educator could be summed up in 3 words: reason, religion, and loving kindness. Reason would mean do only what is reasonable. Work hard and find out every day how better you can prepare your classes and serve the students still better. Religion would mean never forget your Creator, the loving Lord and Master of each one of us and of the whole universe, should be acknowledged and thanked every moment. Loving kindness, it is not enough to be kind, but make your kindness felt by the other. Be respectful, be humble, and be loving to everyone, even to your enemies. If so, you may never even have an enemy at all. Allow me to say a word more on each of them very briefly. Reason. It means make the best use of your intelligence. Do what is reasonable. Be informed of all sources of knowledge in the area of your specialization. Make friends, not enemies. Do not waste time doing nothing or gossiping. The time assigned to each one of us by our Creator is limited. time being one of the most precious gifts we have in this world. Let us use it well. It is too precious to be wasted, doing nothing or performing much below one's capacity. Let us make the best use of time we are gifted with by our Creator. Let our specialization be serious, in depth, and let me also say joyful. Find joy in doing research and in contributing our very best to expanding knowledge. Do not stop reading something new every day. Read, read, and still read. By reading, I mean make the very best use of the digital world. Do it as best as you can. If we are not strict with ourselves as teachers, there is the danger of wasting time, especially in today's digital world. Our time belongs also to our students. Hence, we have no time to waste. Religion. It means be connected with your Creator every moment of your life here on earth. Let that connection be personal, communitarian, offering your very best at all times. Always be joyful. Sing, shout, and do all you can, Don Bosco used to say, but do not sin. If you think you are disturbing someone, please stop it. Loving kindness. It is not enough to be kind, but make your kindness felt by the other. Then only the mechanism of relationship starts functioning. Do not be harsh. Speak clearly and loudly, but always friendly and gently. Let your smile be your best gift to the other. All what we have mentioned briefly or super briefly is at the heart of our educative mission. Our educative mission is bound to succeed and bear much fruit beyond marks and certificates if each one of us is hardworking, patiently collaborative, helping one another beyond measure, and involving oneself personally and generously. Be patient with your students. Love them and their welfare sincerely. Be acquainted with the latest knowledge in your respective areas of specialization. And let us always remember that there is no substitute for hard work. To conclude, let us never waste time. Make the best use of all the resources God has blessed us with. Be kind to all. Be happy to work together and to help one another wherever you are in India or elsewhere. Let us get connected. Thus make the world small like a home and make everyone feel at home as best as possible. All this and much, much more is indeed the goal of education, namely to make everyone feel at home in India, in the world, in the universe. This is our mission, unending, limitless, and forever. God bless you all.
Thank you, Father. Thank you for the motivational message and speech you have given us. Thank you very much for being with us here today. Moving on, our next speaker is going to be Dr. Neha Jain, Professor and Head of the Department of Languages, Presidency University, Bangalore, India. And she has completed her PhDs from Bastakula University, Bhopal. Not only that, she holds an International Advanced Diploma in TEFL and TESOL. She has published nearly 4 articles, authored 6 books, and published 18 international papers. And not only that, she has got many awards and has been a keynote speaker and trainer in many international conferences. We are very happy to have you among us, ma'am, today. The session is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. At the outset, I am honored to be a part of this particular workshop, and I am grateful to all the patrons for having invited me to conduct one session today. Thank you. I would like to present, so just help me know if it is visible.
Ma'am, are you sharing, ma'am? Your presentation isn't visible
Yes.
yet.
Is
No,
it
ma'am.
visible now?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
I have shared it. Just see.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now?
Yes, ma'am. Now it's presenting.
Right. I'm audible, right?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Okay. So I'll be talking about value-based leadership and communication skills with emotional intelligence for the tribes we lead. So here my topic is slightly different from communication, and I'm talking about the leadership skills which we all need. So what is the purpose of leadership? Who is a value-driven leader? So all this I'll be taking you through my presentation today. So values driven leaders lead from the deep sense of purpose and demonstrate the commitment to life affirming values such as honesty, integrity, excellence, courage, humility, trust, care for the people, and social and environmental responsibility. We have seen one such leader just now. We were seeing, we could listen the words of Reverend Father Joseph, and he, in a way, is a leader. So the reasons here, do you know the reasons why you all are here? Why you have chosen this workshop or this development, faculty development program? Do you want to be a manager, or you want to be a leader or a professor? Or are you a good leader if at all you're somewhere working? How are you brought here and admitted here into this particular workshop? So the thing is that you have to think a lot, and I am sure the people are thinking that why they are there, why wherever they are, why they are there wherever they are. So thing is that we have come here to learn, and what we want to be is a good professor or a good leader, and we are here to change not only our life, we are here to bring in that change in the lives of the other people. And for that, if at all we have to be good in whatever profession we have chosen, and I'm sure all of you, the PhD scholars or the teaching professionals who are here, you all are here to bring in some change. And for that, you have to change your priorities from within. We have to change and bring in the major changes outside. And then for that, you need good communication skills. So, how leaders create value? You know, Leaders create value through their ability to bring about the change through the other people. So, in the first place, be it any profession that you are in, or be it as a teacher, professor, you're working somewhere, are you having that ability to bring about that change? Okay. So perhaps leaders create value through their ability to bring about the change through other people. Perhaps this is the best definition of leadership: the capacity to create change in others. Creating change requires that you effectively reach people. So many a times we associate leadership with something big and transformational, but only few people realize that transformation isn't something that happens overnight. Transformation is a process that takes a long time, and it takes time uh, getting into shape. Okay. So it's a result of gradual improvement that eventually leads to something very big. Gradual, gradual improvement it is. So one things that I talk about is the 1% kind of rule. If you can improve yourself by 1% a day, by the end of the year, you are going to be 37 times better, maybe. So we have to follow this rule of 1% change. So there is a difference between a boss and a leader. And I, from this particular platform, wish that everyone becomes a good leader. Leaders are there in all the professions, and we can lead. A leader is someone who leads. Okay. So you should know the difference between a boss and a leader. Boss is someone who bosses around, and leader is someone who says, okay, come on, we will do it. Come on, let's fix the breakdown. Come on. So we'll go together and we'll do it. Okay. So boss is someone who says, okay, you go, you do it. But the leader is someone who says, okay, we will do it together. So in the first place, we professionals, as professionals, we should know the difference between a manager and a leader. See, when we talk about classroom management, okay, in that case also we are managing. We are a manager over there, and we are a leader also. Okay. So you need to have a blend of two, both the things together. We need to have the traits of managing certain things, and in some certain places we have to lead also, right? So you need to have both the good characteristics or traits of being a leader and of a manager. So here we see a typical boss like relationship, which no one likes actually. We don't like such kind of bosses around us, bossing around. And when we deal in the classes also, classroom management we are talking about, and we are dealing with the communication skills also, then in such a case also, no one wants to have some kind of bossism around. With love, affection, care, we can do wonders. Okay. So here is the father of management, Peter Drucker. And if you are going to do some kind of management, it's all about doing things right, and leadership is doing the right things. See the difference. Management is doing the things right, and here leadership is doing the things, doing the right things. So difference between being a leader and a manager. Major differences. So are we having some kind of vision? We all might be having, but leaders are the ones who create a vision, and the managers, they set the goals and the tasks for us to accomplish. Okay. As initially I said, leaders are the change agents, and the managers will always maintain some position, power, status quo. Leaders are somewhat different, unique. Managers will always copy. Always, if a leader is a great leader, he will be ready to take some risk, and manager will be controlling the risk. So leaders always are there to stay in for a long haul, and managers always will think in the short term. So these are the skills that one should have as a leader. Okay. And as I said, that we should follow the 1% rule of thinking of bringing in the change every time, every day. And throughout the year, if we keep on following such things, we become great leaders. So these things we must follow. And for all these things to happen, what does value based leadership do? You know, if at all we are doing all these things, what is the purpose? So, somebody who's a great leader and also having the values are very important. Leadership alone will not help. So, value based leadership, having some ethics, morals, values in place, and then you lead something, take a lead in something. Okay. So, here you should be having direction and setting one goal, direction, something like that. You should have that goal. Creating proactive culture. You have to create that kind of culture where there is a lot of proactiveness around. Improving the individual should also be done by a great leader. What is the purpose behind the leadership? Expanding opportunities for one and all. You should take care of that. Self reflection and self confidence is very much required. Humility and positive influence. These are some of the traits or qualities of value based leadership. Okay. So, these things, if at all are there, when the leaders are having values driven leaders, they are having some sense of purpose from within, and then they take up the charge, and then self reflection should happen and see the big picture always. There is some big picture with the vision that I'm talking about. There's some big picture, and we have to see the bigger picture always. So, these things should be considered. Then, I will go by certain rules over here and how you should become a better leader and manager. See, when I talk about a leader, I'm not talking about political leaders. I'm not talking about some corporate managers alone. Everyone in the day to day life, in our routine work, also, we have to sometimes initiate, we have to lead, and we have to manage. Okay. So, everyone can become a better leader and can become a good manager. Managing self comes first. Okay. So, manager and leader does not mean that corporate leader and corporate manager alone. So, in the first place comes the picture when we are surrounded by people and we are having the traits of a good leader, and we can always hone this as a skill. So, a good leader should be excellent in man management. Managing machines is very simple, anyone can manage it. But managing the people around, empathizing with the people around is a very, very difficult task. So, leadership is something where you can manage the people, managing people. And here is one management skills pyramid where you can see at the pinnacle, you see leadership is there, but how it should be achieved or how you achieve that success, we have to begin from the bottom. We have to first plan, organize, direct, and control. So, this is how you get something done. Then you go up the ladder and you motivate, train, involve people around, and then you develop the people around. Okay, who all are there around you? You develop them. Then comes the other step ahead of that, that is time management and self management, which is very, very important. And with this, you improve yourself. And then comes you attain what you are there for, that is your leadership, and you achieve success. So, this is the management skills pyramid. So, I'll give you one example over here, that if at all we wish to be good leaders, there shouldn't be any kind of an ego. Ego, no, it should not be there. Because if at all the egos are very high, big, inflated egos, they will definitely will not let you achieve your goals or whatever things you are working towards. So always we should look for team spirit, teamwork, etc., etc. So this is the rule number one. Rule number two, sorry. So one example, very good example of this is, that Infosys was started by 7 people with the founder Sri Narayan Murthy, and everyone knows who he is. Because of no ego issues, Infosys has a brand name. So why it is there? Because of no ego is there. Okay, and now it is a very, very well known, reputed company. So, rule number 3 here is unity is strength. This is our rule number 3. If you have to be a good leader, if you have to be a successful leader, then you should always focus on 2 things, that is, how your team is, team spirit is, and how team works together with cooperation, collaboration, and that is the formula for success, and that is equal to achievements. So we know we can give many, many examples of good leadership. Okay. So here I have taken very simple example of how good leadership has brought in various laurels to our nation. If at all we talk about our cricket team. Okay. So you know that with some good, great leadership uh, uh, and the captains that we had, they have proved a point that team spirit and collaboration can do wonders. Then, leadership, rule number 4, leadership is the capacity to translate vision in reality. I was talking about this only, and here comes synergy. What is synergy? What is synergy? Synergy is what? It is like you have to have a complete uh, cooperation, complete the power that is there in your team can be unitedly used, and that will be called as synergy. Okay, so here once again one more example is here of same Infosys. So they had a vision of Infosys. They had a vision that for the professional people, by the professional people, that company had this vision. They worked on this vision, and this was the only agenda for them, that this is for the professional people, by the professional people, and they treated as the constitution, and there was nothing bigger for them than this. So they had that team spirit which had converted into synergy, and then they could do wonders, and till date it has that repute. So this talks about great leadership. This is how anyone and everyone can become a good leader. Okay. So what makes you a better leader? Okay. This is how it is. Great leaders don't set out to be leader. They set out to make a difference. Are you there to make a difference? Are you there to set uh, out some, like, some changes, some transformations. Are you there for that? So it takes a lot of time. It's a long process. But if the leadership is good, anything can be achieved. So here are the various leaders of various, you can say, times, eras, and you can see some of with some we can relate even now. How? Because of their leadership, they have achieved something big, great. From all the fields, you have leaders over here. So if you talk about Gandhiji, today being Gandhi Jayanti, if you talk about Dr. Abdul Kalam, so uh, you talk of Sundar Pichai, you talk of Steve Jobs, you talk of anyone. They were leading, they have been leaders of their own zone, whatever specific fields they come from, be it politics, be it sports, be it industry, be it anything. So here comes another thing, the styles of leadership. What do we mean by various styles? Now, I told you about that there are various styles of leadership. So here you can see the various photos, pictures which are there, and they belong to various areas, zones, etc. So now we are talking about the leadership styles. As a good leader, what is necessary? What you ought to do? What you should do as a leader? So we will be talking about some small examples, little things that you can do to become a better leader. Recognize somebody on your team. Every time we talk about leadership, we should be recognizing a person in our team. It can be as simple as saying, okay, I'm there for you, you have done this for me, thank you. Are you recognizing someone? Or as simple as if someone recognizes your efforts, how does it feel? Okay. Or sending an email to praise someone on your team. Recognition is one thing that we all should look forward to doing. Recognition is something that brings in a lot of motivation from within. So go for recognizing someone in your team. Put together a diverse and inclusive team. So have your team as a good leader. Okay. A team with different backgrounds, experiences, education levels, ethnicities, beliefs, etc. That will again help you grow and do wonders. Okay. So a diverse team, an all inclusive team can do wonders. Next, self care. Are we practicing it? So we have to practice self care. Do what you need to take care of yourself so that tomorrow you can take care of others as a good leader. It is as simple as eating healthy, exercising, getting enough sleep, and doing whatever else you need to do. So self care, and then only you can take care of the other people. Practice empathy. Empathizing is something that we all ought to do, must do. Lending the ears to hear, empathizing, not sympathizing. So take a couple of seconds to put yourself in somebody else's, maybe somebody's shoes, and then understand the problem. This is one of the traits of a good leader. Okay, so try to understand their perspective and then respond based on that. Empathize, not sympathize. Give yourself time to be curious, to know, learn. Are we giving? To be a good leader, to be a good manager. So give yourself and your team members at least 20 to 30 minutes a day to just be curious, to know what's going on with your teammates, to know how they feel about a thing. It could be anything, but then you should give some time. Practice listening rather than hearing. So, what does it mean? Listening means putting away your distractions, paying attention to your body language, giving someone the gift of your attention. This is very important when we give someone the gift of our attention. It is a very simple thing to do, but very, very impactful, especially when you as a leader, you do it. So, do it. So, being a great and effective leader is not often about something that you can do overnight. It's about taking care of these small little uh, soft skills. Initially, we started on a note that communication skills, soft skills are very much required. These are the things which are needed. So when you think of a perfect leader, what comes to your mind? These things should be there. That okay, as a leader, do I empathize? Do I have time? Huh? So when when you think of a perfect leader, you might picture someone who never lets his temper get out of control, no matter what problems he's facing, maybe. Or you might think that someone who has the complete trust of his or her staff, listens to the team, easy to talk to, and always makes careful, informed decisions. Right? So give it some time to listen. And these are all the skills. Good leaders, good leadership styles will have all these soft skills. We are talking about communication skills. We are talking about soft skills. Okay, how do you communicate? You communicate with the people. And how you do that? By listening to the people, speaking to people, right? So, all the ways of communication and the styles of leadership, we all should have. We all should have. For this, when we talk of communication skills and soft skills, and about the leadership styles we are talking about, and I am my topic itself is value based leadership and communication skills and emotional intelligence for the tribes that we lead. This is my topic. I'll take you to my first slide. This is my topic. So I was talking about values, I was talking about leadership. Communication should happen. Without communication, without soft skills, these things won't work. Leadership will only function if you are having leadership will only function or will be successful if you are having followers with whom you have the right kind of communication. Leadership becomes very successful if it is value based leadership, and if emotional intelligence is there, which plays a pivotal role because we are leading the tribes. Last part and emotional intelligence part, now I'm coming to. So, uh, communication we were talking about soft skills, we are talking about the styles of leadership and the traits or the characteristics of a good leader. And now we come to emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? Always a good leader will have emotional intelligence. This is what we call as EQ. Emotional intelligence is there. So a leader should have social skills. He should be able to motivate people. He should be able to empathize. A lot of self awareness should be there, and self regulation should be there. Now, suppose as teachers and professors, We are all leaders in that way also. I am a professor, you are all professors, teachers, and we are all into teaching. Are we having leadership? My first question is to you all. Are we having value based leadership? Are we setting examples for our students? Are we having the best kind of communication skills that we can have? Are the students understanding us? Soft skills do we have? And together, emotional EQ, emotional intelligence do you have? EQ do you have? So, what is emotional intelligence? What is emotional intelligence? Emotional quotient, we call it EQ. It is the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive ways to relieve maybe whatever stress, if at all you are having, also you don't show it to the people. Communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse any kind of conflict, or maybe you have the conflict resolution skills. Okay, so this is emotional quotient or emotional intelligence. Are we having it? We should all have it. Are we showing our stress, anger on our students? When we come to work from home, do we carry that pressure, stress from home to work or work to home? That means we don't have emotional intelligence. If at all we are able to control all our feelings and emotions and everything and not showing it, controlling it, still able to empathize and communicate effectively, because we all should know the professional life is different from your personal life. So, if at all we can know the difference and apply what is necessary, what skills are needed at that particular given time, so that means we are having good EQ, emotional quotient, or emotional intelligence. If we don't have it, we need to work in this area. So, to be effective in everything that you communicate, everything that you do as a leader, a teacher is a leader. You must have a very strong and concrete or maybe solid understanding of how their emotions and actions are affecting the people around. And if at all you are a good leader, you relate to work, uh, the things related to work, etc. All those things you will keep it separate. Okay, you will not mix the personal and the professional matters at all. So then, for this, for becoming more aware, for having more of EQ, we have to take time to work on self awareness, self regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. And working on these areas will help all of us excel in future. So why EQ is important? Because we all are working in some systems. Our workplace is nothing but a system. So for working in a system, we may be a follower, we may be a leader, or we are all employees and somebody is leading us. Okay, like we are working in some college, we are working in some school, we are working as some teachers, somewhere we are working. So we have a higher authority above us. It can be a principal, it can be a dean, it can be an associate dean, it would be chancellor, vice chancellor, etc., etc. So, what is it that they all have in common? They are sitting in the higher positions, higher authorities, and they are in the leading positions. We are working as employees under them, number one. So, we are just abiding by some rules and regulations of a system. We have this thing in every system. Some principles, rules, regulations are there which we follow. Okay. So when we work somewhere, or are we having this kind of emotional intelligence? So for emotional intelligence, these 5 rules are very, very important. 5 you can call as uh, traits which we all must have. We all must have it. So we are working where? We are working in a system. So where are you applying your leadership? You're applying your skills of communication, your soft skills in a system. What is a system? System is nothing but our workplace, workstation. You may call it your um, college, university, or your school where you're working as a teacher, professor, whatever. So that is a system. For example, family is a system. A community of faith is a system. So what is a system? System is a web of interactions. Why it is a web of interactions? Because we ought to interact with people around. In a system, we cannot work solo, alone. We have to get the work done. The work should keep on flowing, moving, and we have to deliver. We have to take classes, we have to deliver lectures, etc., etc. So it is not possible to be a part of a system without interacting with people. So interaction is nothing but communication. If the communication has got the soft skills, it's very good. If communication happens with EQ, emotional intelligence, so that is wonderful, that is great. So a system is nothing but a place where a lot of interactions do happen, and then there is a purpose behind, there are patterns, there is a system of rules and regulations, etc., etc. So you have to follow, abide those rules and regulations. So here in the system, we should follow a triple focus approach. What is it? A triple focus approach is nothing but you have to have awareness of 3 kinds, that is of self, of the people, and of the environment. If at all we are working in a system and we have the inner awareness, the outer awareness, and the awareness of the whole, then things will become more simplified. So system is a collection of interconnected elements. Okay, like individual stars from the constellation, a system is a pattern or whole formed when individual elements such as people, plants, or even ideas come together, for example. So when it comes to bring in a change as a change maker, as a leader in an organization or an institution, okay, so what one must do is we have to know that system. That system should be known to us, and then it becomes easier to get the things done. So this is one thing that we all should know. So when it comes to getting things done in the known system, system where we know what are the norms, rules, regulations, etc., etc., being the boss is less important than understanding who is connected to whom. The quality of those relationships and the explicit and implicit ways the elements within the system conduct themselves, automatically it will happen, okay, without much kind of pressure. So when you understand the patterns of values, influence, power, and emotions that exist within an institution or an organization, then we become more capable of maneuvering the complex human networks or connections, etc., etc. So an understanding of relationships hierarchies and decision making processes position, maybe it helps us to communicate in a better way and get the things done. So this is the triple focus. When you know that there is a way in which you can focus on three things, three levels of awareness. So it exists at the individual level and at the organizational level. On the individual level, they look like the self awareness, relationship awareness, and the ability to see and understand the systems we operate in. So, inner is what? Emotional climate, purpose, values from within. That is inner. Then there is outer, the larger systems in which the organization exists, everything from the economy to political technology, etc., etc. It will be there. And then there is this thing. So we should know what is the triple focus system. The final thing over here is when we are working somewhere, uh, we are managers, we are leaders, we lead and people follow. We lead our students and students will follow us. We manage our students, we manage our classes. So, what it is? They are like the tribes that we lead. Okay. So, when I was saying that value based leadership and communication skills with emotional intelligence or emotional quotient for the tribes that we lead. The definition of a tribe or a janjati is a social division in a traditional society, which is there in this particular slide. Okay. They are called as janjati, tribes. Okay. They are having a common culture, dialect, typically having a recognized leader. Maybe they follow some kind of ethnic groups, people, race, nation, communities, etc. So this is a picture of one janajati tribe. These are the pictures of some other tribes. See, these are the various types of tribes. So imagine when we are working in a system. I want to relate this to working in a system where you find different kinds of people, different kinds of um, tribes kind of people. Like here you can see different individuals, different tribes they belong to. Some are a bit like scary, some are having some other humanistic features are different. Okay, so this is how we have to deal with different individuals in one system collectively. See, collectively we are dealing with everyone. So how do you deal with different individuals who might be coming from different states, different regions, different countries, etc., etc.? If you have to deal with all collectively, then you must have good communication skills, good leadership skills, good emotional intelligence, and then maybe we all can be successful in what we are there to deliver. Okay, so when we come to teach to our classes, we go teach, deliver, what happens is different types of students are there. Okay, and we are delivering the same kind of lecture or same kind of strategy we have common for all, but all are different. All our students are different. They come from different backgrounds, ethnic groups, they come from different cultures, different states, different regions. This is how it is. But we are communicating with all of them in the same way. So, are you a great leader? Are you a great teacher? Are you showing your communication skills in that best way that you can cater to all these groups equally? No. So, there should be some variety that you should apply while delivering your lecture to all these people. Okay, varieties. So, this is my last thing. Leaders are the creators of their lives, followers let the life happen to them. And I want all of you to become good, great leaders in whatever work you have chosen to uh, do or you are doing. So you have to stay grounded, be grounded, and that's it. Thank you.
Any questions from the participant side? Anybody has any queries to ask?
Isha,
Yes, sir.
Isha, can I ask question?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Dr. Neha. Your presentation is very excellent. I'm really touching by your talking about leadership and communication skill. Very good, excellent. The question is now, Doctor. Many many
Sir, you are not audible.
many of students currently, they are more academic, focused on the academic. What they call focus on the academic. They want to get a good grade, rather than they are going to take a leader as a leader. Example, let's say we appoint them as a leader in the class. They don't want, they rejected.
Yes.
Okay. And secondly, see at the university level, they should take up other than in classroom. I have experience. I previously, yes, in year 1990s, 1980s, like my time, and later 2000, I was, because I'm already coming to the 26 years I'm teaching. So lately, yeah, I mean, I'm talking students who are in the era of digitalization, and they are not ready to take up all these positions. In fact, we are giving support them with the money. We give our mentoring, coaching, even the industry come in and mentor them, they reject. So few of them said, we resign. And we don't all this because we only focus academic. But the reality that in the workplace, they're not looking academic. Academic is just a ticket for them to
Yes.
practice, to entry point. But coming to the workplace, they want to see a leader. They want to see a good communicator. They want to see. So today, the student, they're much on the phone. That's it. They want to go to Facebook. They just want to play games and so on. They don't care. So how you want to bring your advice to all of us here with your leadership and communication? I think they're too powerful that you're using in your presentation. So, Doctor, can you advise us how to bridge this gap that's going to be bigger and bigger in the years to come? And that's solving problem to the industry, eventually also problem for the country to perform. And there will be a lot of problem in the economy performance in the country. So please advise us, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Balakrishnan, for your question. I think this particular gap we can bridge by having lot of communication. The whole workshop is based on soft skills, communication, etc., etc. So, first thing is, are we having enough communication with our students? Number one. If we are able to give some extra time, put in more efforts, and if we can just understand what a student wants, why they are distracted. I have somewhere mentioned about distractions are there because they don't have this kind of self awareness. They are not able to manage self, they are not able to listen. So if at all we can give some extra time, invest our time in our students, and I'm sure all students know are capable of being very good leaders. They all are. Only thing is we and they have not tapped into their potential. So if we can invest some time and bring them on the right path, let them know that okay, this is not the right time for you to just be in some involving wasting your time energy in some on some social media platforms or with your gadgets, etc., etc. But then if you develop your leadership tomorrow, maybe you will be a great big leader, a successful one of a big institution, organization, company. Are we showing that light to our students, that today you are here, tomorrow you have to be somewhere, and this is just not merely a degree, a certificate, something that they treat as a universal currency. Okay, okay, fine, I have got this paper and I have got this degree certificate, etc., etc., and which with which I will be able to be successful in life. No, no, it's a wrong notion which they have. To be very honest, and we all know as teachers and professors, the students who are like hired by some great companies, big companies, maybe academically they are okay, okay, good, good, but then they are very good in their communication skills, you know. They are very, very good in their communication skills, and this is why they are picked up. This is what we see, the trend is how it is, like this is how it is. So then they should be able to communicate properly. It's not just academically that they are very good and they can just get a paper certificate, that is our degree. That will not help them in the long run. And who's going to bring this kind of thought or this kind of enlightenment into their minds is us, the teachers. This is our role. So only we are teachers. So only we are into this profession of teaching. And if at all we take this lead, so only I said, I could have done some presentation on communication, etc., etc., but I want every teacher to be a leader, a role model, and a manager. And then if we are leading with example of self, we can guide our students, I'm sure, in the right way, on the right track. We can put them always. I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, okay, okay, Doctor. Thanks. We
Thank you
hope
so much.
to continue our, as you said, leader, manager, and of
Yes.
course, loving teacher lah. Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello, Doc. Good afternoon. My name is Harun Ibrahim from Ghana.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah,
As per your timing,
good
it
afternoon.
must be afternoon. Yes.
Yeah, so good evening in India.
It's no, it's okay. It's okay. Good evening, good afternoon, whichever time
All right,
zones
all
we
right.
are in. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
It's very enlightening. Yeah. As you said, there's a difference between a boss and a leader.
Yes.
Every time people, because of the thin line between the two, it's difficult for people to differentiate it. And
Yes.
sometimes when people have leadership positions, that is when you tend to see their true character. When they are looking for the position, you don't see their true character. But when they get the position, that is when you see their true character.
Yes.
So you made mention of emotional intelligence. It
Yes.
is one of the key elements that is missing into a lot of today's leaders.
Yes.
A lot of leaders across the globe lack emotional intelligence, and that is the bedrock of discipline.
Very true.
And you hit on 5 principles: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills.
Yes.
These principles that you made mention of, it is inborn traits. You should have it.
Yes.
Yes, you should have it. And then it should be influenced by the society that you're also from. And then also your upbringing is very, very key. The culture in which you are from, whether you respect the culture that you are from, and then pay respect to other people's culture. Because every time people tend to frown on others' culture, rather respecting their culture over others, which is very wrong. So in your presentation, you made mention of something you call system, where you said it's a web of interactions and relationship that share a purpose. Very, very important. What is the purpose? Exhibit patterns. So you should have a footprint, whether you're a respectful person or you are not. As every time Professor Bala makes mention of, he stressed on the fact that we should show respect and be humble. It's very key. Every leader must have that. And then also you made mention of establish order.
Yes.
Order means here, mommy, it is discipline. If you don't have discipline, you can't. And operate around a set of principles or a set of rules and regulations. Your presentation is very voluminous. You may think that it's just something that you've just shared with us, but it speaks a lot. And a lot of leaders must know what your presentation is talking about.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm
A
honored.
lot of leaders must know what your presentation is talking about. Mommy, my question is on the triple focus system. The triple focus system that you made mention of, the triple focus. That doesn't mean that if your leadership doesn't capture that triple focus, you need an extra training, or you need to be groomed to be able to get that to help you in your leadership position. Thank you.
Thank you. So if our focus is very sharp, and we know that our sphere of attention, okay, it allows us to feel the unspoken tone, if at all you're focusing on something, and with that focus you understand even if the words are unspoken. If there is some tide which is going to hit you and you understand, okay, this is going to happen, then that means your focus is very sharp, strong. That is only because of the awareness that comes from within the people and the environment. Okay. So, yeah, we have to have triple focus to be a very good leader. Thank you.
All right, mommy. There were some types of leadership skills that you made mention of,
Yes.
and yes, and normally everybody with the kind of leadership skill that he wants to um operate with, depending on the particular environment or the institution or the company or the firm that he works with.
Yes.
Yes, linking it to your upbringing and your cultural background. If you meet a leader who is authoritarian, he thinks that every time his opinion, his suggestions are final. Can you give us practical steps as to how we can be able to deal with this leader so that we work in harmony with the person? Practical.
You okay? I feel your question is if leader is very very autocratic kind of a leader, Hitler like
Exactly.
leader.
Yes.
See, Adolf Hitler had its own leadership style. I have mentioned some styles of leadership. So, though he was a very good leader, he had all the qualities of leadership, and he was a very short-statured person. I'm talking about Hitler. But then he was very, very
Okay.
autocratic, and then his leadership, he could not sustain. It was not long lasting. It was not long lasting, right? So, what happens is in such a case where leaders are like Hitler, Maybe they won't be able to sustain for a longer time, or the workforce working for such leaders, no? The workforce are the employees who are working under such leadership. They will go in for a change. They will change the job, which is not good, in the either ways. So just working in some system once again comes into the picture. Working in some system where things are not very good, and you are not able to do what you feel like delivering, there is no productivity because there is no recognition, then the people will not perform. And when the workforce will not perform, the people will not perform, it's a kind of a downfall, it's a kind of a failure of that system. And with this, there will be a lot of attrition, there will be a lot of job changing. People will leave that system. And if people go in for a lot of attrition, changing the jobs time and again, that speaks about the leadership, that speaks about the leadership style. So there are repercussions to styles of leadership, right? And the employees always have the option to go in for a change, right? So this is my answer. And you cannot just continue in same system for a very long time where the leadership is not that great, because you won't be able to perform, and you won't be able to do justice to yourself, and because you're not happy at the end of the day.
Right. So, mommy, my next question is that as leaders,
Yes.
when is it appropriate to have mid-year appraisal and end of year appraisal? When is it necessary to have mid-year appraisal, end of year appraisal to evaluate your leadership skills and management?
See, every system now, this is something that is I think in the powers jurisdiction of a company, that I sitting here, I cannot decide. But having feedback on leadership is always good to have to run the show properly. So, okay, you are saying twice in a year. It can even happen more than that. But then a system decides that. Me sitting here in this uh, place, in this position, I am not the right person to decide on this particular question of yours. But then, of course, having at least twice a year, it's good. It's good. And if the feedback is taken twice, thrice, even if once a year, then they should be able to understand that if that feedback is taken, they should be able to know what are their flaws and what people are not happy with. This much of EQ, emotional intelligence, here comes into the picture. All the managements must have. They should apply their EQs in this in a very, very fair manner and do justice to their employees, taking feedback and bringing the changes, making the changes which are necessary for the growth of the system management as a whole, and creating a better workplace, maybe. Thank you.
Right. My next question is, as leaders, in reference with your emotional intelligence, the 5 principles: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills.
Yes.
Mommy, for example, assuming you are a leader of a school institution and you have these 5 principles:
Yes.
self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills, and your empathy overrides on all these 4 principles, other 4 principles, your empathy overrides on all of these 4 principles. Mommy, please, how can you lead the school to achieve glories?
See, there has to be a balance of everything, something that overrides and something that is not that balanced. I don't think it will make me to be a successful leader, because I won't be able to make right decisions which are for the welfare of uh, all the stakeholders. All the stakeholders. It could be students, it could be parents, it could be teachers, it could be anyone and everyone, all the stakeholders who are involved. So, something that five things that I have spoken about, everything should be in balance. There has to be a balance in everything. So, this is what will come to us with focus. When I'm talking about focus, awareness, focus is nothing but awareness. So, if I have chosen certain items in my presentation, they're all interrelated, interconnected. I spoke about leadership, then I spoke about communication, then I spoke about emotional intelligence, then I spoke about system, because all of these are interrelated, interconnected, and there has to be a balance of each. Without the balance, I will not be able to have the balancing act, and then it will not be right on my part to make right decisions, which are very, very important. As a good leader should make the right decisions, right moves at the right time for the betterment of all.
Good. Thank you for your answer. Mommy,
Thank
we all know, yes, we all know that, yes, it is very good to have balance, as you said. How do we measure our balance? Practically, how can we measure our balance from you?
See, balance is something that as an individual, I will know that these are my defects and flaws. If I'm short tempered, for example, I become very angry. I have stress, and that I showcase on my students, exhibit in my class by shouting at students, where I know from within, at the bottom of my heart, I know that I have unnecessarily shouted at my student because I was angry somewhere within. My heart will tell me that, correct? So that means if that much of intelligence is there, or that much of contemplation or thinking on what I do, and I'm having that balance or no, if I'm able to know and uh, differentiate, calibrate that difference, that means I know where I'm wrong and where I'm right. That means I'm not having control on my emotions. And if I find out that this is my area of weakness, then of course I should be able to control. And for that, a lot of practice, hard work, controlling. The controlling power is required, I feel, which all of us can do. And then we will maintain that kind of balance. So one should know where we go wrong. And we all know it. I'm sure. We all know it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you too.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you for this wonderful session. And thank you for being with us here today. We are very much happy to have you among us.
Thank you. I'm honored to be a part of this particular workshop. I hope I have made some difference, and I am sure if at all people have gone by my presentation and the slides, and they have understood some bit of it, then I'm sure everyone will convert into a good leader and a good manager, and they will have the EQ, and they will know their systems and work towards the betterment of their systems. Thank you.